Hello, this is Miles Merwin with Advisors Insurance Agency. Today we're going to discuss what it looks like to remarket your account. If you listen to the advertising all the time on television and radio and print ads, it tells you get a quote, get a quote, get a quote, right? See if you can save 5, 10, 15% or more on your home, your auto, your business insurance. Well, let's look at some of the pros and cons of remarketing your account. Let's look at it from a strategy point of view. There's three things that we pay attention to. One is, or three questions. When should I expect to be remarketed? When does it make sense to requote your insurance, whether you're doing it online or we're doing it? When is a good time to do that? Well, as a strategy, we have noticed a few things of when the key time is to do that. We work on a 3 to 5 year carrier placement strategy at a minimum. So we are trying to make sure that our customers stay with the same carrier for at least 3 to 5 years. Why? Why will we do that? One is you're able to maximize discounts with a carrier when you stay long term. So carriers a lot of times will have longevity discounts. The other thing is when you do switch to a new carrier, one of the questions on their application is always, how long have they been with their prior carrier? The longer you've been with your prior carrier, the higher up in the tiers you get with the new carrier, and the bigger, the deeper the discounts you're going to get when you go to get quoted again. So if you've been with a carrier for 60 months or longer, you are maxing out your discounts for that new carrier. So that's why we're on a 3 to 5 year carrier placement strategy. Also, another reason why we like to keep customers with the same carrier is it helps us, your insurance agent, getting paid commissions every time you renew your policy. It helps us negotiate with our carrier partners. So when we need to go to the underwriters or the claims team and plead your case, whether it's a claims issue or an eligibility issue or an underwriting issue, when we need to go to carrier and kind of plead our case of why we need to overlook some sort of specific, the longer you've been with that carrier, the more leverage we have. We can say, this insured has been with this carrier for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. This is a long-term, great customer. Look at their loss history. They can see it. We're much more likely to be able to lean in on our relationship with the carrier when the client is stable and staying with the carrier for at least 3 to 5 years. Relationships matter, right? Relationships matter. Outside of this 3 to 5 year, when would be a time you might actually need to go to market though? Break strategy. Well, there are emergencies. Emergencies do happen. What are a couple of emergencies? One might be you really do just run into some eligibility issues. You decide to get a pit bull and that carrier does not allow pit bulls. You decide to put a diving board on your pool and the carrier doesn't allow diving boards. So we could run into eligibility issues. It could just be a risk change. You've decided to take some sort of activity, Airbnb or something like that, and the carrier doesn't have the right endorsements to cover that. So it might just be a risk change. All right, so we've talked about when maybe you should consider remarketing your account. What is the benefit of being remarketed? What is the benefit? Why would I do that? The obvious answer is to save money, right? You can benefit from lowering your rates. There's always a carrier out there that's buying the marketplace, meaning they've come into the marketplace, they want to grow in number of customers, and so they're going to drop their rates for new customers. Now, almost all carriers over time, whether they tell you or not, are slowly increasing rates from the new customers to get them back up to their regular rate. So they might be cheaper now, but they're going to scale up over time. The other reason you might want to get remarketed is just want to make sure, are you paying a competitive rate? Another way you might be able to find out if you're paying a competitive rate as well is an agency like ours, we insure 4,000 to 5,000 households. We can tell you what a competitive typical rate is across all of our households in a household similar to yours. We can tell. And you can just ask us, what's a competitive rate for my household? We can tell you basically what that is at the moment. The other reason why you might want to get remarketed is it's just a peace of mind. It's something you want to do. It's something you want to know. So it's just going to give you a peace of mind. We understand. The last reason you might want to remarket your account is it may be to take advantage of new coverage forms and endorsement options. So, for example, you're going to be renting your home out on a short-term basis for something, maybe 30, 60, 90 days, and you're going to need a short-term rental endorsement for your home insurance policy that might just not be available on your current home insurance policy. And so you may be able to take advantage of newer options and endorsements and forms on newer policies. Of course, there's some pros and cons of that. Some of the older policies might have broader language. So there's a plus or minus to that, but there's a reason to get remarketed. Last one, what are some of the disadvantages of changing carriers? There are a few. One is just the trouble of it. So some of the things that you run into might be escrow problems, dealing with your mortgage company and your escrow account and getting checks written for the premiums. You might run into billing issues when you're changing over everything. You're canceling old policies, you're starting new policies, and we just see a lot of billing issues come up when switching from one carrier to the other, especially when you throw in your escrow account if you have one. There's DMV issues. Sometimes the carriers don't talk to the DMV exactly at the right time. And so there's letters that can be sent from the DMV to you saying you don't have car insurance. Now, it is an easy fix. You send us the letter, we go to a website, we plug in the data, you're good to go. But it is a nuisance. There are issues with the DMV that do come up. The other thing is just new logins to manage your policies, right? So you've got to download new apps. You might have to do new telematics on cars, setting up bill pay. So it's just some things to manage when switching insurance policies. Those are some areas. And the last thing is inspection issues, right? So you potentially will get a new inspection on your home and if you're at your business, and you just might not need someone poking around your house, right? This isn't the time. There's some things you need to do around the house. So you might not want to get exposed to an inspection. Something to think about. All right, I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions of when you should be remarketed or what the strategy is for your insurance program, feel free to give your insurance professional a call or call us. We'll be glad to walk through this with you. All right, take care and thank you so much.